Today on the WTF is Cryptospace podcast, Melbourne University makes blockchain history. The fight for control and freedom continues, and rapper 50 Cent finds value in Bitcoin. All this and more in the WTF is Cryptospace podcast. Stay tuned. You're smart. You know how to listen to suggestions and make your own decisions, right? We're just two Aussie brothers talking shit about cryptocurrency. So, do yourself a favor. Do some research before doing anything financially. Now for that banging intro music.
Welcome to WTF is Cryptospace. I'm Brett.
And I am the chat.
This podcast is all about the crypto space.
Shout out.
Oh, beautifully done, Chad. Hey, this week, the majority of our peeps are from the USA.
US of A.
Over 70% came from USA this time.
Jeepers creepers. You guys are crazy kicking it over there. What's happening?
Well, we got San Jose in California. We've got Jackson in Tennessee. Rocking it in at third is Singapore. Thanks very much, guys, for representing. Also on the list, a quick shout out to Shallora, which is in New South Wales, Australia. So just our buddies over there as well. Thanks for binge listening.
Thank you very much. You're rocking it. So, guys, today we got four topics, so we're going to get right through it. We have Australian University launches blockchain course, why the institutional investors are going to join the crypto space. Are crypto assets a mechanism for total freedom or total control? Should be more up control. And also rapper 50 Cent claims he's a Bitcoin millionaire.
All right, Chad, where are we starting?
We're going to talk about the Australian University launches blockchain course.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chad. So this is exciting. So RMIT have a blockchain innovation hub, which they've launched in September, but now they're really just coming into the crypto space. So they have a gentleman who's written tons of publications. That's Professor Jason Potts. From the RMIT School of Economics. And so he's written some great things on the new evolutionary economics and how shared economies work. And this sort of overlaps with regards to blockchain technology and all of the great provisions that it brings to society as a whole.
Now, the course looks like it's going to be pretty affordable. It's an entry-level program, and it's only going to be about $1,500 Australian, which for everybody overseas, that's only like $1,200.
Oh
yeah, right. I was going to say $2 in the US. And the Vance Chancellor Martin Bean has underlined the emergence of blockchain, and he says, open quotes, blockchain is becoming a core part of the contemporary digital literacy, and we are delighted to offer an industry-focused program, end quote.
What I like about this,
cool.
The two things. So the first is that this is an 8-week program. Nice and simple, short curriculum.
8 weeks, good.
It's co-designed with some external providers as well to bring some real world blockchain technology information from the industry. Mm-hmm. Now, the other part to that is that in order to fill the skills gap, executives are going to be going out and participating or looking for people to be able to bring into their company as blockchain technology penetrates the wider society. So that means that this is partly skewed towards helping them to understand who they might be looking for as the blockchain technology is actually growing as a whole sector.
Now, this university is actually, we said RMIT University, but it's actually the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. It was formerly known as the Working Man's College, but then they thought that was probably a bit slim in pickings when it comes to people attending. It is good to see that a university, especially in Australia, is not just embracing but offering courses that are going to get people on the track to, one, understanding what the hell's going on in the crypto space, which is something we go up against all the time, and two, giving them the information that they're missing out on, and that hopefully will turn into this will end up being the economy of money that'll be taught in schools. But this is the first step to having that happen in Australia, which I'm pretty keen with.
Yeah, look, and that brings us across to the big boys, the banks and other entities that already are out there. And, you know, listeners will note that there's been a huge disruption this year. When we look at the price of cryptocurrencies, the whole market as a whole has reduced by almost 70% since the beginning of the year.
Yes.
As a whole sector.
Everything's in decline, but as someone was on... I was going through the crypto groups that we're in part of, and also Cryptospace. If you guys are on Facebook, go to Cryptospace. We have a group, and we're going through some of the discussions. And one of the people was saying, like, they set a photo, and it was just someone random on my page, and they were like, "Look at this. What does this mean?" And then someone just came in, and it was all red on the board, and they're like, "What do you make of this?" And then one guy just goes, "It's a good time to buy. It's a great time to buy. It's all negative. It's a good time to buy, because then it's going to go through the roof when they start going on the upside." So institutional bankers and the investors, they're going to join us in the crypto space. Now, what is happening with that?
Well, look, JPMorgan have put out a few different mixed messages over the last couple of years. And look, rightfully so. I mean, they have to protect their own interest, and so they're trying to disrupt the market so that people get deterred by investing in the crypto space. So naturally, of course, then we had the first layer of people, the techies, that we all sort of rocked in and found out about the crypto space. But now as it evolves into these different types of conversation, people are looking for this not just as a currency, but also as an instrument to be able to distribute information in a more faster, more decentralized mechanism.
Yeah. And the ongoing thing we see in Venezuela is also, you know, this is the reason why we're seeing more stuff. But I've heard on a few podcasts recently that, you know, they said, they've peaked. Bitcoin's peaked. And like, I'm serious. I'm like, I've heard 5 or 6 different podcasts of the last week say that Bitcoin has peaked and it's just going down. No one will ever hear about it again. And we know that's bullshit. And these guys who are going to invest all this money, they know it's bullshit too, but they're trying to drive the price down so they can buy more. Why would you not want to do that?
Look, and this next wave is... We needed a bit of it's not about slowing down the market. It would be great if it kept moving forward. But the thing here is that, as a general, the crypto space, we're looking for more innovative people to come in. We're waiting for a bit of a skills gap to be filled. So you've got all these people who are like really excited by this cryptocurrency. That's really great. But you've also got the element there of blockchain technology so that people can actually then turn around and adopt that so that we can find ways of being able to bring it to the masses. Now, really excited, Chad. Actually, this is not one of our articles this week, but I just thought I'd mention it. Pillar Wallet has actually brought out the next version of their, or the next iteration of their wallet. So they will be bringing out a live wallet soon for public. And you can bet your bottom dollar that they will be a perfect timing. Or should I say, bet your bottom Satoshi, that they will in fact be a perfect timing for the next wave of people into the crypto space.
Look, everything's moving forward. Best advice that I've been given ever was to misspell the word hold. Hodl, keep it going, because it's going to go up. It's always going to go up, and always going to keep moving things around, keep investing. This is actually the best time for you to invest right now. Is the best time.
Look, I'm liking the fact, Chad, that there's dissenting views.
There
needs to be dissenting views. If there's not people talking from the other side of this and taking an opposite position, I'd be worried. If there was people, if we didn't have people on both sides saying, oh no, crypto's bad and crypto's this and crypto's that, and everybody was saying crypto was fantastic, like November, December, then you're looking for bad times ahead. Whereas if everybody else is on the opposite side of the trade, I am so happy to choose the other side of the trade.
Hey, but you got to remember, at the start of this, like 2017, it was like Bitcoin was at $4,000. So it's still sustaining up there at 9. Currently, it's about 9 in Australian dollars.
Look, it is a relative thing, and obviously, look, you have to acknowledge that quite a few people have taken a hit. Okay,
yeah,
but the important thing here to understand is fundamentally, has the Australian dollar fixed any of its problems? No.
No.
Has the US dollar fixed any of its problems?
You mean the institutional version of like problems where they will never be able to fix it without buying each other out?
Like we have some huge real estate problems coming down the pipeline. You know, look, without heading down any of those aspects, I can say with confidence that there's there's fiat currencies throughout the world that haven't fixed their fundamental issues. Like we don't hear about the PIGS nations anymore.
Europe, no.
Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece. I'm sorry, they just all went away. All their problems went away.
No,
we just printed more money.
Because we have a president in the United States that are taking up more airtime. There's not very much you can actually do with that information, and you can't fix anything. It's not important because, you know, what's the next tweet he's going to do whilst he's on the John? Anyway, so the next thing we're talking about is the crypto asset. Is it total freedom or is it total control? Now, my opinion is that it can be both. It depends on who gets in front of it. And I've actually listened to a podcast called Unpops, or The Unpopular Opinion, and they just did a cryptocurrency one. I think about a month and a half ago. Very cool insight about people who have no idea about it. Some guys on there had invested and they made one of them made $30, the other one made a considerable amount of money from it, but then they pulled their money out. And they were talking about it, and it's interesting to hear what they were saying because these guys are conspiracy theory guys, and they're talking about the total control versus the total freedom. Like, the idea of controlling you via this particular platform, there's too diverse. Bitcoin is only one of a bunch of stuff. It's so diverse that you can't control. However, they can control how it's taken out and what they can charge on that side. I believe it's still freedom because you can still trade money, you can still buy stuff, and things going up and down. It's very volatile, but that's my opinion. There's total freedom involved.
Look, as long as it remains anonymous or some sort of level of anonymity. Thank you, Chad. And so while we still have that, there would be more of a case to think that there was more freedom.
Yeah.
While we still have a open blockchain where everybody can see everything that's on the ledger and pinpoint that back to an individual who's undertaken those transactions, then I can definitely see the camp of people who think that this is moving towards one level of one world government or something of that nature. Who knows?
But the last thing we'll do before we go on to the next bit about 50 cents, because you can probably hear that's clicking. They can hear my little. I can't wait to talk about 50 Cent and his millions. But I think when it starts to be adopted a lot more, and we're still not there yet. This podcast comes out once a week, every week. We've only been doing this. We're almost coming up to our 52nd podcast, and we're going to be celebrating with just delivering you the normal podcast. But we
way to go big, John.
Yeah, we're going to go big. 50 is going to be awesome. 52 is like, no, it's been a year. Is that we still haven't seen the adoption. We still haven't seen, because the idea now in the public is that it has peaked and it is going. And the problem is now that we're going to fight against that when we're trying to implement that into day-to-day life. And that is what I see. So it's not even total freedom or total control. It's acceptance again. We're back to square one when it comes to acceptance. Or maybe not. People have now heard of it. Look, but it's going to be a lot more to trust it.
In recent years, we've been really restricted in the spectrum to which we can communicate. And so narrowing that communication in all the different systems throughout the world that we use, from financial systems to political systems to whatever, to religious systems that exist, it means that by restricting that, we've really taken away the ability for an entrepreneur or an individual to be able to share value in the economy, in their local community. we've taken away the ability to transact. Well, we're reducing the ability to transact cash. I mean, look, if leaders in China could have their way, they would take all of their cash digitally. But look, the awesome thing you guys have to remember is that crypto is immutable. An immutable ledger, which makes every transaction set in stone. There is no arguing with it. That is a powerful
There's no negotiation.
tool.
We do not negotiate with ledgers.
But this is the thing, right? This is the whole tax thing, without going too much into it. Let's tax maths. I'm sorry. It's nice that some people in all of those various different professions have taken over, where they've had, we've had our plumbers and we've had our plasterers and we've had all of those different options. It's great to give the maths guys a go, give the science guys a go, to reconnect and rebuild a better, internet and a better communication system.
Now, before we talk about the internet, and I really want to talk about this 50 Cent thing because it's super good. Guys, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button, click subscribe. We have this come out every week. Every week you'll get us talking shit about cryptocurrency. But Brett, the last thing we're going to talk about today is 50 Cent. 50 Cent. 50 Cent. 50 Cent has, I said it 4 times. 50, that's 5.
Is that like $2?
50 Cent, that's 6. Yeah, that's $3. So, this rapper, I'm not going to say his name, he is $50. He has, back in 2014, he said to everyone, I'm accepting Bitcoin. I'm accepting Bitcoin. He sold his album. What was the album, Brett? Vamp, Brett. I've got it. Vamp. The album was, I typed in $50. That's not going to be good. Hang on.
Well, look, can I say, Chad, he claims that with the $7 million Bitcoin fortune, he was said to have, he basically said it doesn't exist, right?
Yep.
And so, but the thing is that because of the income, what they've been able to do is that go back a step, Chad, it was called Animal Ambition.
Animal Ambition, yeah.
It's very hard to say. The album is Animal Ambition. There you go. And he was accepting Bitcoin back in 2014. And so historically, that's a huge improvement. I mean, he could take a few years off based on that.
However, can I break the story to you? The poor guy, they converted the Bitcoin from that into cash. So it was, at the time, he got it out and it was a certain amount of money. He pulled that money out at $480,000. It would have been worth $7 million right now if he had left it in there and they didn't change it in money. So because
it was 700. It was 700 Bitcoin, guys.
Yeah, 700 Bitcoin. So that's huge. Like, it's massive. So he could have made crap ton of money on that particular thing. Sadly, he didn't. But that's a lesson from 50 Cent or $50. From $50 to you. He's now, it's cup full, cup empty, $50, 50 Cent, it's a thing. Guys, I also want to talk about, just quickly, is my new project that I've been launching, Brett, as my side project.
Oh, yes. What's that, Chad?
I have stepped into the magic world.
Yes. Tell us more.
You guys can find me on Magician Chad. That's one word, Magician, like musician, but Magician Chad. I'm posting a bunch of tricks up there to get my fingers.
Check them out on Instagram, guys.
Instagram, Twitter. It's also on Facebook. We've got a website coming very soon that we're working on, so check that out, Magician Chad.
And look, for the rest of the content, check out WTFcryptospace.com, WTFcryptospace.com. Our Facebook page, we have Facebook group, we have Cryptospace, and we also have a Twitter chat.
Yes, we do. It is WTF Cryptospace. Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember to like us and comment in the chat. Also, click subscribe to this podcast to get your weekly podcast updates from us, Knuckleheads, and you'll get it in your podcast feed every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But until next time, I'm the Chat.
And I'm Brett.
Let's get excited about the crypto space.
The transition has begun.
Speaking about magic, 50
Yes.
Cent made his money disappear. How do you go? Well, he couldn't have thought about it forward thinking. Like, he wouldn't have thought there was going to be 10 grand per coin. Like, that's he went through some money trouble recently too. You know, they halved his money from $1 to 50 cents. I'll see myself out.